Hey, this is the old gaming geezer. Welcome along, gamer geeks and space fans. We're reeling still from the death of Shepbin Kerman last episode. It's been a tough time for us here at the KSC, but you know we've got men in space, we've got Kerbals in space, on a mission, and they need to get moving and they need to get on. It's time for us to go to Duna. Jeb and Bill and Bob are going to have to mourn the loss of their comrade Shepbin. They'll have to cry their bitter, weightless tears off in the confines of the Dunopolis 1 as they prepare to head out to Duna to be the first Kerbals to land on Duna. They prepare to go and they're setting up their course, fine-tuning to get a good position coming into Duna, but it's difficult. It's difficult because of the emotions are running high here at the KSC and in the cockpit of the Dunopolis 1 because they feel the pain, they feel the loss very, very dearly. The loss of their great comrade Shepbin, who's done many things to advance the space program of the Kerbals even. But the show must go on. And this ship needs to fly. And fly it does, using the last of the fuel from the launch stage to just push them, the first part of their launch, out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. And we've used the last of the fuel now, and we're going to separate that stage and activate our engines. And it looks like the emotions were running so high that mistakes were made, and the engines from the lander were accidentally activated. You can just see how the loss of Shepbin Kerman is hitting the crew here. They're making mistakes. The boys back at the KSC at Mission Control are they're very worried about these guys because all our pilots they've worked very closely together for a long time. They're like brothers, and they feel the loss of their comrade. They feel the loss like a knife in their green hearts. But we're thrusting. We're on our way out to Duna now. And so now I'm speeding up time there to double time as we lose our first transfer stage, and we're now onto our nuclear motors, and we're burning hard to get us out of the Kerbal system out into interplanetary space. And you can see I am burning hard to get my apoapses to intersect with Duna at that point in its orbit. The guys are watching their computers, Bill, Bob, and Jeb. And we've got our intercept, and so we're pretty happy with that. And now it's time to watch Kerbin fall away below us as the sun rises. It's probably the last sunrise these guys are going to see over Kerbin for a long time. They've got a long mission ahead of them, and their hearts are going to be saddened, knowing that they'll never see their friend Shepbin again. And so now we have to do a little bit of a docking dance here to get these ships in the way that I want them, because I want the main transfer ship to be actually pulling the two landers, not pushing them, because when they're pushing, they tend to wobble about, and we don't want them wobbling about because we've had enough problems with this space program. Now, some of you watching this may have noticed a problem that we're about to find out about. The ship wasn't really designed for this, and here we go. Coming into dock, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Really. Okay, so Bob is just going to have to get out and take a look. Bob gets out. He's like, you know what? I can fix this. This is fine. This is grand. I'm jetting over there in my jetpack suit, and I'm having a look. Let's have a look. There's your problem. The ship won't fit into that hole. Okay, so we're going to have to be pushing the two landers all the way out to Duna then. That's fine. That's fine. It's just what we're going to have to do. So looking at our orbit, I'm going to set up a course correction at the, I'm not sure if it's the descending node or the ascending node. I think it's the ascending node. So, and I want to get the orbit of the Dunopolis down really low over Duna so we can do a little aero braking. Now we're doing really, really well for fuel. I haven't used nowhere near as much fuel as I thought I'd need because, well, that big, huge NASA engine, worked way better than I was expecting. And so here we are. We're getting our apoapses around, our periapses around Duna quite low, and it's and it's going to work fine. It's going to be great. So we're low enough there so we can aerobrake in the Duna atmosphere. Now here we are coming up to rescue a Kerbal that's in orbit. This is one of our little contracts. We need to make some money. It's Shepbin Kerman. And here we see, this is the ship we sent up to try and rescue the Kablamo shuttle. The ill-fated, tragic flight of the Kablamo shuttle. And Shepbin Kerman is on his way back now to this to the claw ship. He's just going to get in, and they're just going to head back home because, you know, he's a new guy. I don't know how the hell he got in orbit because I don't know. I didn't fly him out there. What the hell are all these guys doing in orbit? This is the second guy we've had just mysteriously appear in orbit. Where are they coming from? Is he the ghost of Shepbin? I don't know. I don't know. I'm checking. Oh, rescued Shepbin Kerman. Yes, excellent. Cool. We've rescued him. So these guys, they don't really care where they go down as long as they go down. Nelvis and Obzer, our two science boys, are on this ship actually. These were the guys who went out to the moon, and then eventually to Minty and did a hell of a lot of science out there. And they're coming in now. I want to try and keep as much of this ship as I can because money's tight these days, and the penny pinchers are tightening the purse strings after we've had such catastrophic loss of life on our last mission. And here we have separated our command pod and our service module, and we're bringing them down. Going to land them out in the grasslands out on the other side of the planet. And our command pod has landed, and our service module is coming down to land now for a safe... Oh, not such a safe landing. Looks like we lost a poodle engine. But we're down, we're safe, and everybody's okay. And we get out to see, can we do a little science, maybe try and get something from the horror of this horrible mission. Let's stick up a flag. The Highlands. Awesome. And so here we have another of the Kerbin survey missions that come from the fine print mod. Now, notice I said Kerbin, so if you're the KSP designer, you will know that I said it right this time. I am still tired, and I do still make mistakes, but hey, it's Kerbin, they're Kerbals. Awesome. So this plane is going to fly halfway around Kerbin and pick up fly through some of those nav points. I am not going to show you the whole thing. It took maybe an hour and a half to do all this. So let's do a little montage of me flying up over the KSC, over the mountains, through the night, above Kerbin, spinning out of control as my engines ran out of air intake. That was fun. Quick reload later, and we're adjusting our position, getting our very last nav point, realizing now that we're running out of fuel and having forced to make a landing way up in the north, landing safely. Remembering this time to put on my brakes and not to close my landing gear, which we all remember what happened last time I flew a plane. It all ended in, oh my god, fiery death, we're all going to die. Although nobody actually died, luckily enough, so that was good. This time it all worked well, even though we did almost nose over the plane there. Yay, we're down. So we haven't had a launch yet this episode, so let's launch. My next launch window is to Eelo. Now, I have never flown to Eelo, so what you're seeing on the top of that launch stage is part of the ship I'm bringing to Eelo. At the very top is a lander, and... Oh, there we go, we're dropping our boosters. At the very top is a lander, and right above the launch stage is a transfer ship. Now, the transfer ship is going to have one, maybe two fuel tanks tied onto the back of it, which it's going to dump as it goes out there. Now, those of you who have been paying attention will have noticed the pilot of this ship. Now, there's only one guy in there, even though there's space for 4 people. Notice the pilot? It's Shepbin Kerman. Shepbin Kerman? I thought he was dead. But no, Shepbin is alive and well as we dump our launch stage. And that launch stage has got parachutes on it. So hopefully the Deb refund mod will give us back some of our money. Excellent. Now, Shepbin, what the hell? I mean, really, what the hell? You died. You crashed the Kablamo shuttle, and here you are again in another spaceship. What the hell's going on, man? What? I don't know. I just don't know. Well, somebody's going to have to get a message out to Bill, Bob, and Jeb out in the Dunopolis 1 because they've been crying tears of pain and sadness for weeks. Weeks since they launched. Actually, they've only been gone for about 10 days, but they've been crying and crying and crying. Shepbin, what the hell's going on? Where were you? Where were you, man? I don't know. Anyway, Shepbin is going to get out and have a quick look at the ship. This is, it's tradition now. On top of there, we have the lander. On top of the lander is a Kethane probe, which I'm sending out there as well. There's our little lander. I'm hoping that's got enough Delta V to land and get back into orbit in Eelo. Here is our transfer vessel, and on the back we have a docking port, which is going to trail probably two fuel tanks. The standard fuel tanks, the standard 2.5 meter fuel tanks. Let's say 2.5 meter, 3 meter fuel tanks. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't know. Whew. But it's a good looking ship, and it's got a good looking pilot. Although I don't know if Shepbin is actually going to go on the final mission. He basically just piloted into orbit, and he's getting back into his little lander can on the front there. We will have a full crew in this, a full crew of 3 when it goes, but we're about 30 days away from our launch window to Eelo at this point. I've never been to Eelo. I'm looking forward to it. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll bring Shepbin. Maybe he'll die on Eelo as well. God damn it. God damn it, Shepbin. What the hell, man? What the hell? I don't know what the hell's going on here. I really don't. And so while I struggle with this existential conundrum of the life, the death, and rebirth of Shepbin Kerman, let's launch another rocket. Now, I've got another contract, and what you're seeing here is a rocket that I'm putting out to Minmus. Now, once we get past that explosion you just heard, let me explain what it is. I need to drive around a certain part of Minmus, going through particular nav points, and do a ground survey of Minmus. So I'm sending out a young man who's ready to do his first mission, whose name I can't read on the preview window because it's too small. And so what we have here is a rover, a little Minmus rover. Now it's upside down, so I had to fly it with a robotic part on the launcher. We're still got the robotic launcher. Now we're getting into orbit. It's all looking good. And between the rover and the stage that is currently burning is a sky crane. Now, I never used a sky crane before. I am familiar with the concept. My launcher stage from my last launch, the Eelo launch, it failed. It crashed. Didn't have enough. I did not have enough parachutes on it, but the launcher stage from this launch landed safely. It was cool. It was all good. I got some money back. So what was I saying? I did a little research on sky cranes, and this is what this is. And you'll see it in action very soon, as soon as we get out to Minmus. And you see I got bored here while I was waiting for the Kerbin ejection burn, so I started to spin the ship. I get bored sometimes. I'm easily bored, and we slip out of the shackles of Kerbin. We approach the mint green goodness of Minmus. Oh, it's so minty green. Now, we're going to burn the last of the fuel in this little transfer stage, and then we got to switch to the sky crane to slow us down and get us into orbit. And it's going to be great. So, I'm also coming in quite low. I was going to hit those mountains there, so I started to burn up. I wasn't really paying attention when I was recording this, when I was playing it, because I was actually talking to somebody at the same time. So we've dropped our transfer stage, and now this is our sky crane. So we control from the top, and you can see there's a small probe body on the top of that. And we've got those small engines on the outsides. I can't remember what those engines are called. I don't know what that noise was. Oh, I think that was what our transfer stage was smacking into the ground. Oh, no, it wasn't. That was just a weird noise. Did I fire the engines? I didn't see a plume. Well, here we go. Well, there we are. We're firing the engines now, and we're getting us into a minimum orbit. I like to call it a minty orbit because it's minty. Minty. Or an ice cream orbit. It depends on what you like. Do you like minty ice cream orbit? I like minty ice cream orbits. And I went too low there, and now I'm actually in orbit. I burned too much because I was distracted. I was talking to people. I tend to do that. So you can see there the purple marks on the surface of Minmus. So that is the location that I need to get this to. And we're coming down now. We're actually right above the area that I've got to be. So I'm slowing down with my sky crane. Trying to get, so I don't overshoot, basically. And I can see now, actually, in one of the cuts there as I was redoing some of the audio, I actually checked who is in this. I had to zoom in because I still cannot read the preview window, but in the rover is Shepbin Kerman. Good old Nelvis, the boy from the lab. He's out there again doing some science for doing the science, doing the research. He's a real pro. He's a real pro. So we are slowly dropping down. The very, 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 very weak gravity on the minty moon of Minmus is slowly dragging us down. And I'm looking around, and it's quite a nice little rover. It's quite simple. I have done rovers before. I brought a rover to Duna once, about a year ago, actually. That was the last time I was in Duna. Maybe longer, I don't know. And it worked out pretty well. I've never used these tiny little wheels before. They're kind of based on the... Actually, I don't know what they're based on. The Curiosity wheels are much bigger. This thing is coming down. I want to land it really, really softly. I'm going to try and hover just above the surface and drop the rover. And then I'm going to fly the sky crane away. I'm just going to crash it because I won't need it anymore. Now, we're coming down and we're about 45 meters up. And I'm very slowly slowing down. We're now at 30 meters off the ground. You can see my shadow coming in. It's 15 meters. And I'm about to decouple. 8 meters, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I decouple, and the bloody rover immediately docks with the sky crane. Oh my god, I was so... What the hell do I do now? What do I do now? And I was also controlling the rover, and I had to switch back to the sky crane. And then I had to figure out... and I finally managed to decouple. So we were good. So at this point I decided, well, let's just fly this thing away. There's a big mountain not far away, so let's just crash it in there. Let's have a big boom, boom, boom explosion. Because I safely landed my plane and haven't blown up any rockets this episode, we haven't had a big boom, boom explosion. So let's have one now. And this is a totally unmanned vessel, so big boom, boom explosions. Nobody's going to get hurt. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. This is only last night that I recorded this, so I don't know what the hell I was doing. So now I am burning like crazy towards this mountain. And we're going to go smush. Big, smushy smush. And big smushy smush. Excellent. Beautiful. So that's the area we've got to go around in that little rover. It's not exactly going to be the HOC Gaming drive to the polar expedition thingy. It's just going to be me driving around. But I'm not going to do it now. No. Well, like driving around a little bit. Just testing the rover. But I'm not going to do it now because it's late. I'm tired. This is the old gaming geezer. I'm signing off. Good night. Farewell. Until next time. Bye-bye.